Hello again, everybody. It is the coach. You're tuned in to Madden 19 on EA Sports. Up next, we've got a good one on tap between the visiting Houston Texans and the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'll have scores around the league for you at the half, but it's time for a little football. So we'll hand it over to our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Right at the convergence of the Three Rivers on Art Rooney Drive, we welcome you to Heinz Field in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Houston Texans and the Pittsburgh Steelers. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Charles, we look at this Steeler ball club entering play. They've been flawless all year long as they hit the home stretch at 13-0.
And now they just have to guard against complacency. You still got to go out and earn it every week.
Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Texans, they've certainly found their groove of late, winners of 5 in a row.
And I think the sky's the limit for this team. They're playing the best football that they've played in a long time.
It's the final 3 weeks of the season. Still plenty to play for here as we're underway in Week 15. This one fielded at the 5. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. So out come the Texans for their opening drive. And a look here at their go-to guy under center.
It's pretty much become the norm when we see guys come out before a game and go through the route tree with their receivers. I thought it was exciting for us to see the exact same thing happen in practice.
He's so meticulous, isn't he?
He really is, and that tells me it's not just a one-time-a-week thing. They work on it all the time, trying to hone that fine edge. They want to see if they can get in sync and stay in sync in this one.
And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And he'll fight forward to about the 27-yard line. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8. And this O-line, it is the lifeblood of the offense.
They establish the tone. Mean, nasty, physical. They can't wait to get after people. That allows the rest of the offense to feel confident.
They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line.
Here we go now.
From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. And that's Elliott, complete. 50 catches for him now on the year, and he's got a first down.
As far as tight ends go, this guy's not a speed burner. He's much more of an inline blocking type of a tight end. But how about this last play? Made a nice catch and picked up a first down.
That's what impresses me about him. When he's called upon, usually gets it done. And he'll push his way up to about the 44 here. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9. We take a glance now at the starters on the defensive side of the ball for Pittsburgh. It's quite a unit, number 1 in the NFL against the pass.
And the easy thought process is that stopping the run is the least of their problems because they're facing the number 1 passing team in the NFL. But if they don't stop the run as well, then that just opens up the passing game even more. They've got to do both.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And this one's going to go the wrong way. Losing yardage back at the 42. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down. So a look here at the key inactives, and we got this list before the game down on the field. They tell us the same thing every time, don't they? Next man up.
No excuses. Be ready to play. That's the mantra of every organization. The key is having guys on the roster who are capable of filling in and playing at a high level. That's when you know you've drafted well, scouted free agents well, and stocked your team just the way you're supposed to.
And he'll be corralled out across midfield down to the 45. A fresh set of downs on a gain of 13 there for the Texans. And at his size, he's a smaller back. You can get him to football. He can kind of get lost, make someone miss. It's good for him.
Yeah, it's great for him. I like what you said there. Sometimes he gets lost in the traffic a little bit, but get him out in the open field into some space. That plays to his strengths the best and keeps him out of it where all the big boys are. You know, make him make someone miss in the open field.
And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down.
Defensively here, you're facing a top-5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL, so when they're that high-powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20, because to me, that's the magic number. 20-point score gives yourself you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace. Someone knew exactly where he needed to get to pick up that 1st down now. I'm not so sure about the technique in getting there, but he went for it, and he got it.
Rush coming, and he's taken down.
Tremendous read and reaction by the defensive tackle, and frankly, partner, it's not that often the DTs have that type of easy access back to the quarterback. Never bought the play-action fake.
They're going to look to throw. Got some real estate inside the 30. And finally taken down at the 30-yard line. A good pickup there, 13 yards as they get closer for 3rd down.
One thing we do know, he's going to get his catches. So as they move forward defensively, got to continue to focus on not giving up the big play when he does catch the ball in the second row.
Looking left side, and he's got a man. It's Brooks. First time they've hooked up here. Good for 17 and a 1st down.
The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. 5 yards is the tally on 1st down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, and it's Texans football as we get going in quarter number 2. They've got a 2nd down and 5 here to start things out.
Now let's go.
Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And they'll be driven back here, losing yardage to the 10-yard line. And they're getting him involved early.
You feel like they saw something on tape, or they just have a sense with him because he's had a good week of practice or something in that area. But they want him involved, just as you said. They want him to touch it either in the running game or the passing game, but they must like the matchups they're getting.
Meanwhile, on 3rd down, they take a shot at the end zone, but it's incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
Well, that will go down as a 15-play drive, and it results in 3 points. So some disappointment?
It's funny, we had our conference before the game with the offensive coordinator, and what did he tell us? I just want every drive to end in a kick, right? An extra point, a punt, or a field goal. Well, in this case, I think it is a little bit of a disappointment because it did end in a kick, but that type of a drive should end in the end zone.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10.
4 down. Set. 3.
They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. Throwing right, and that's complete. Right off the bat, it's a 1st down to start the drive, 12 yards. That's the number 2 receiver in the NFL in terms of yardage, and tell you what, a few more plays like that, he won't be number 2 for long.
But that's what often happens when you have competitors running around the field. These guys know where they stand in relationship to yardage, totals, numbers, the whole deal. And let's face it, all of them, they all want to be number 1.
He's going to find his running back. It's complete. And he'll be taken down across the 50 at the 45 in enemy territory. It's a Pittsburgh 1st down, a gain of 13.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. 12 yards that time, and a Pittsburgh first.
And that was a nice, strong run by the guy they call the field general.
And on the ground they go with a running back. That one good for 10 yards. And that'll bring up a second and just about a few inches here. For a lot of people, MVP award means a quarterback award usually, but over 100 yards again last week. They're going to have to look his way more than once when giving out this award this season, I think. Yeah, it's not just the consistency. There's been some plays that we've seen where we talk about it for weeks thereafter. That's what we're getting out of him. Over 100 yards last week. Expects to continue that in this game, too. We all have habits. We can be somewhat predictable, and you know me pretty well on second down and short. What I like to say. Play action.
Yeah, without a doubt. I thought that was a great spot to call it. Instead, didn't go their way, did it?
No, defense sold out for the run. Worked out well. They stop him for only 3 that time, and that'll bring up 4th down.
Well, the strategy was evident there. Get it to your tight end and make it a one-on-one play with a cornerback. Who's usually going to win that one?
The tight end, but not there.
Not in this situation. How about the corner defeating that logic and making a really nice tackle?
2 minutes remain here in the first half. And we remind you, coming up at the half, we'll join who, Charles?
The coach.
The coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from games in progress, as well as scores from earlier today.
The coach.
Sorry, we get slap happy up here sometimes. Mike Tomlin takes a shot here, but to no avail. And this Texans defense stands tall.
Partner, when you see a running play stop short like that, you just know that the defensive front, they won the battle of leverage and created the push back into the opposing backfield.
And for the offensive coordinator, whether you had 1 yard to go or 20 yards to go on 4th down, now you're probably saying, oh, maybe I should have passed it, right?
Yeah, hindsight is always 20/20. That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route, and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and give the quarterback a really nice target. I think the last 2 plays really illustrate how difficult it is to game plan against this guy, because you know he can throw the football, but how about his use of legs as well? What we call those broken plays, you can't account for them.
Yeah, those plays, those 2 that you just mentioned, a microcosm really of how he can hurt you. It's another 10 yards on that one and another first down.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there, keeps the sticks moving.
And his throw is going to be incomplete. Well, too much oomph, too much mustard there on that pass.
They really turned it loose, didn't they? Really cut loose with that one. Sharp, strong. Didn't lead to a completion, though. Made it very difficult.
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. And an incomplete pass. That'll stop the clock here with just under a minute to play in half number 1.
Feels like they're getting caught in between here because they didn't completions on 1st and 2nd down. Now you got to worry a little bit about the clock because you prefer not to give them another shot here in the first half. But if you don't pick up the first down, guess what? You're likely going to have to.
And he'll get it down here to the 43. Now the Steelers put a stop to the action with a timeout defensively, as they get the stoppage with just under 50 seconds remaining in half number 1. And a fair catch signaled for and taken just outside the 20-yard line.
Of course it opens up.
Out comes the Steeler offense now, ready to see what they can do here. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure, if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk, this is a big decision here.
Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. Going for the deep ball. It's caught inside the 25. And into the end zone. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. A big play there. His 4th touchdown on the year. And the Steelers get the quick strike touchdown.
And while that touchdown does not give them an insurmountable lead, it's still a lead, and that always feels good to a team.
They'd love to take that into the lockers, but a little time left on that clock, so some work to do.
I like that. I like how you're guarding against a letdown there.
Already looking forward.
Coaching them up from right up here in the booth.
Elliott good with a PAT, and that makes it a 7-3 lead. Elliott now to kick this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. And now out comes Houston. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
And they'll go with the ground attack here. And he'll get this one up to the 26. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. And now a timeout defensively after that first down play. So they're going to make this offense sweat out half number 1. The last play got just a yard. Here's 2nd and 9 from the 26.
Here we go now. Green 39. Green 39.
And they'll run it here. And he's going to lose yardage and be backed up to the 25. So we reach halftime here in the Steel City with the Steelers on top. As we'll send you down to Orlando, we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, time for a sprint to the finish, as it's time to get you caught up with what's happening around the NFL here in a pivotal Week 15. We'll begin in the AFC. Baltimore paying a visit to Nashville to take on Tennessee. And it's the Ravens who have the lead as they play the second quarter. The Ravens trying to hold on and claim victory. From there, we head out west to the Golden State to check on the Rams at home in L.A. And they've got the lead in that ball game over the visiting 49ers. The Rams seem to be on their way to what would be a good victory. Finally, we're off to Atlanta to check on the Falcons at home at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. And they were losers in that ball game to the visiting Cleveland Browns. Meanwhile, in our game, not a lot of offense to go around. 7-3 is our score. Will we see things open up in the second half? To find out, we get it back to our guys in the booth, Brandon Gott and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. So time for the second half as the Steelers have the lead, and they will also be receiving the football here to start the third quarter. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Steeler offense now with a football first here.